Hi, Bobcat fans! Welcome back to another edition of Dear Montana State, our video series dedicated to conversations with you, the fans. I'm Bethany Cordell, joined today by a woman who needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce her anyways. This is Coach Binford, our head women's basketball coach here for the Bobcats. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great, Bethany.
Good.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I don't have a hoop behind me to practice, though, so I'm a little bit...
Oh, yeah. This is Bricklin's room. There's her court. This is at least the spot for today. We rearranged, so we're adjusting, we're adapting.
It's funny. I feel like I'm rotating in different spots around my place lately, too. I'm like, I'm a little sick of the view of this particular part of my living room, so I'm going to go on the other side. But thanks for taking the time to chat today, Coach. We've got some questions from fans that I'll get to eventually, but first, I just want to start by talking about this past year. You know, obviously, the season ended abruptly in Boise in a way that none of us could have predicted. Can you take us back to those conversations that happened with the team leading into the cancellation of that final game?
Yeah, it was obviously it just happened so fast that Thursday morning, and the staff was all in the hotel prepping for our Idaho game, and the team was out doing community service when I got the text from Leon that it was canceled. And so rushed downstairs to meet with him and Danny and just try to get organized. And all of a sudden it's already blowing up on social media before we were able to be the first voice with them, which was really unfortunate. And so I'm texting Jason, our director of ops was with him, just to, hey, give him a heads up, and then we'll bring him in. And when we got with them, it was one of those challenging situations of not only is this devastating for your team with what we were on the verge of accomplishing with so many seniors, but then we also still had the unknown at that point of whether or not there was going to be a postseason tournament in NCAA. So at that point, we were still trying to be a little bit hopeful. Are we going to be playing in the next week? Because we were told being the number one seed, we would be the team advancing. But if it is, how do we just wrap our arms around celebrating this team right now? So obviously an emotional meeting. In hindsight, I'd love to go back and do that meeting over again. It's one of those difficult things that you're never prepared for. And just to highlight everything that this team has been to each other. But I also think that moment in that meeting was about who we were all season long, just how much they cared about each other. And, and to be able to say, if this is it, we did get a chance to finish on a victory and just try to get focused on that. And then in the meantime, we sat a few hours, and then of course the NCAA tournament was canceled.
It's funny. I remember texting with you that day too. I mean, you and I were trying to figure out, we're like, are we going to have a watch party? Like, what's going to happen? And in the matter of hours, like you said, everything just happened so quickly and was canceled. And despite the abrupt ending to the season, there is no doubt that this was one of the most special seasons that we've ever experienced here, full of so many incredible memories. If you had to pick just one to highlight, what was your favorite from this season?
Well, first of all, Bethany, it's unfair you give me just one. Because all season long was just a blast. And I think one of the things I tell the seniors is the things I miss most right now are walking out and just seeing their engagement during warmups. I'm like, that's the thing that just still captures my memories, and not to be able to have that practice again with them. But the greatest on-court memory would have been right after we clinched a share of the title against the Grizz on our home floor with all of our fans there. And typically, as we go through the lineups, the coaching staff goes to the locker room. We have kind of a recap, and the team does their huddle to the fight song, thanks the fans. But instead, I went straight into that huddle, and I told the team we were cutting down the nets. You and I had planned for this, and the kids were so caught off guard. I think that, in the grand scheme of things, they knew at some point we were going to cut down the nets, but they had no idea it was that moment. And it was one of the most special huddles we've ever had. And just to see their excitement and celebration together was pretty amazing.
That honestly is a day I'll never forget either. Between running to the office to get the championship t-shirts, make sure we had them. I think I had 8 interns on the catwalk at that point, dumping confetti. I mean, that will forever be a day that I think most of us will never forget. So the $1 million question, kind of starting with our fan questions, was this 1920 season, this team, the best team you've ever coached?
Okay, so putting me on the spot again. And I'm going to break it down with our 3 Big Sky Championship teams we've had in the last 5 years. And I would say each team has taken a step for us, kind of that pioneer first step. And that first conference team, I'll tell you, there's similarities with all 3 as far as the competitiveness that we had from day one in our practices. I think you win your championships in the way you practice every day, the selflessness of that team, and just kind of the toughness of the mentality. All 3 teams, and then you go, they were able to accomplish and win the Big Sky title. First year it goes to that neutral site. We get upset. And then the next year's team took the next step for the program as far as finding a way to win 3 games at the Big Sky tournament to advance to the NCAAs. So I think those 2 teams and what they accomplished are absolutely remarkable feats. And then when you get to this year's team, I would tell you from day one, our step has been all about taking the next step. And that step for us was an ability to win in the postseason, be on the Big Sky. And so we've talked about that 4th ring, and I love the mentality from day one. The similarity was right there from the start. We all knew it as far as the talent, the competitiveness. But one thing I'll tell you about this team to make me tell you that they were absolutely as good as any team if we've ever coached is how they completely dominated so many Big Sky categories. You know, I was telling you this earlier, but the domination of our scoring margin, our margin of victory, when this team got rolling, I mean, we had some 30-point victories as common victories. We had a lot of close victories, but the scoring margin was really off the charts. Number 1 in the conference in rebounding margin, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, steals per game. There's so many categories that this team just dominated. And when you go through our lineup, as far as the depth of this team, the ability to kind of step in and overcome if somebody was in foul trouble or somebody was injured, I thought made this team just truly remarkable as well. So when you compare, you've got 2 Big Sky championship teams, both in the 50s at the conclusion of the year, and with RPIs, you have 2 top mid-majors in the ranks at the end. But I would say this team has taken the next step, and we're going to continue to do this. And I am so proud of what the senior class was able to accomplish and bring these underclassmen in. I think that in itself, our fans knew, and they really engaged with our fans with this group. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can speak for all of Bobcat Nation that this season and this team is certainly not one that will be forgotten anytime soon. So let's jump into some fun quick hitters to end today's call with these goofy questions we got from fans. First one, what is your favorite flavor of V8 Fusion? Because I know you're still drinking it in quarantine.
So I'm drinking it.
Yep.
And I probably have one right here.
I love it.
That's my favorite flavor, peach mango. I will tell you, we're not the family that's hoarding toilet paper, but we are hoarding V8 infusions because the stores have had toilet paper, but they haven't always had these. So I might be drinking too many a day. Yes.
I feel like you are regularly a hoarder of V8 Fusion, however, so I don't think that's changed.
My habit has not changed. I'll tell you that. There's no change in that beverage. So.
Next question. There are a lot of places in Bozeman that are still open for takeout and delivery right now. What is your favorite one at the moment?
So we're the family that's just cooking off the charts. We definitely need to be contributing and helping out our businesses more. So we need to get some more takeout. But we've definitely had Z's, Euros, Zainab, and Mark Martello did the radio for us when Jason was working with football. And so we've done that for takeout. And we just love all of our businesses, obviously, our bar and spectators and everybody in this community. So we certainly need to get out and do that more. But we've been rotating meals of cooking in this family right now because that seems like all we're doing now.
To put you on the spot here, who is the best chef in the family then?
Well, Brooklyn is our best baker right now since she learned how to bake banana bread. We sent the text to Blair yesterday because Blair's our baker on the team. And, I shouldn't say probably, I do the majority of the cooking. I feel like the first month here, like I had to finally rotate some people into some meals, but Todd's very good on the barbecue. Justin has a great minestrone soup. And Brooklyn made spaghetti for us last night. So we're all getting better in the kitchen.
That's fantastic. Those perks to quarantine that you don't think about in the beginning.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
And then last question for you, Coach. What TV shows or movies are you binging right now?
Yeah, we're not necessarily a Netflix kind of family, except for Brooklyn with her, I guess, Jessies or whatever those are. So we've been in a Marvel marathon.
Ooh.
So I think we are currently to Black Panther is our next one in the series. So Justin's letting us know what's next because we have no idea. But we definitely are movie buffs. That was one of the first things when Todd built this house that we needed to have a movie room. So we need to have you over for the movie room. When we are out of this, you'll come over. We'll hopefully be close to the Infinity War or something of that extreme.
Well, I can't wait. Well, Coach, I think that's it. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. Anything else you want to add for the fans?
Well, we just want to thank the fans. I know that this got abrupted so suddenly, and we had so many fans that were in Boise with us, so we didn't get to have closure with any of you. But Bethany and I have discussed, we want to honor this team the right way and celebrate. It was a great question on this team because we definitely need to celebrate the special season and this team. And our fans, you've been such a part of this special season. So we're so thankful for you, and we just want to make sure we do our part right now and be great followers on what the right plan is progressing back. But we're excited about 2020 and sharing it with you.
I love it. Well, thanks, fans, for tuning in. Stay tuned for our next video, and go Cats.